My name is Albert Geigel and I'm the principal and founder of Tadar Services. In addition to valuations, benchmarking, practice improvement, I also assist with practices in getting through and started with one they've bought or with one that they've started from scratch. I recently just went through valuations and the fact that we need to review the financials, and the valuation reports that I do are in plain English. They include a follow-up call so everything is fully explained to you. They identify what the risks and issues might be with that practice, and also whether there are some quick wins and growth opportunities that are there. So amongst those quick wins, I often speak to my friend and colleague Prabin from 360 Marketing, and he's here with me now, and maybe Prabin, you can just tell me a bit more about your business and what you've got to offer, and what are some of the hidden gems and other things that you find that can be a quick win for a new practice owner, and where growth opportunities can be identified to really boost that business along.
Thank you, Albert. Thank you for that. That's a great insight about the valuation. That's often we get asked, especially if you are, planning to set up the new practice or intend to, sell your practice. So here, all about the quick wins and growth opportunities, especially when you're thinking to build a new practice or buy the new practice. Pretty much, I will say as a 3R. So what does that mean? Is first is retention. Retention of the staff is a critical, which means, of course, you will buy the new practice, or once the valuation is done, once the report is done, all passed, all ticked in, then you don't want to lose, you just settle the practice and you don't want to lose the patients, because there is a trust issue. So all you want is, every 6 months they come checking. Retention of the patients is critical. So what does that mean, and how would you add value? Suppose if you're buying the practice and you see that the practice is not opening for only for 3 days, or say 5 days only, perhaps you could add Saturday, right, as a growth that can be easy quick wins. Or perhaps you can do which we are seeing, especially in the not just the CBD areas, but in metro or over 20k radius, or in the regional side is more after 5:30 or 6, especially on Thursday. Perhaps you can add that extra time slots. So that can be a quick win on retention of the staff. So here what we're talking here is making easy for your patients to book in, so that we are not missing any opportunities or any growth opportunities, especially when the new transitioning is happening. So it's all about that retention. Second point is a reactivation. You and we know that, Albert. So many dental practice, especially if you are buying the dental practice who has been for, let's say, 10 years or 15 years. We know that there is a lot of goal, and most of the practice owners, they are sitting on the goal. That's what they have paid for that practice, for the valuation. And guess what? That time frame is pretty sensitive, and I think you have talked about the handover as well. So what we would say ideally is a 90 days. We really need to hit that harder, or put that steps in, the marketing steps, to make sure that the proper introduction goes from the all principal dentist to the new one. So what does that also mean? The reactivation of those patients, probably giving some promotions, giving some ideas. Hey, this is a new handover. We are here committed for your dental checkups. All those sort of things need to be introduced in a timely manner. If it is missed, let's say if the 6 month or 9 month is passed, it's very difficult, and that's where the tricky bits. I'm not sure. I used to go on that dentist, but not sure. I don't know who have brought. So many occasions that sort of things will happen. So for us would be getting that reactivation on time is critical. Now third bit, Albert, is referrals. Wouldn't we want a referrals?
Always.
Always. So, we are on a referral business. That's the mindset principal dentist or practice owners should have, which also means that, there's already the patients is coming in, the patients have loyalty. So how about we adding the value or giving some reward or recognition to that patients so that we can see their friends and family. So it's simple as that. So we will create some programs, referral programs, once the handover is done, probably to win back those patients or, create a more referral. So pretty much a 3R strategies, retention, reactivation, referrals is, I think that will complement very easy for a quick wins and a growth opportunity. What do you think, Albert?
Well, look, also with the growth opportunity, often we see dentists looking at the practice and we look at the item report to see what work they're doing.
Yes.
Okay, now they're doing crowns, they're doing whatever. And you'll often note that they refer out a lot of the ortho or they refer out this. So that's often something that is a growth opportunity if the dentist has the skills to do that work. Now, can you tailor something that will target patients in that sort of area for a new practice owner?
You bet. I think that's where especially clinicians who are just over 5 to 7 years experience and they have a special interest. And I would typically say as a CIA, cosmetic implants or aligners. If you have a special interest on aligners, let's say, to attract the ortho patients, whether that may be kids or adults, probably you can add that in your retention, the angle where you would say, okay, we have got a new dentist or, it has been handed over by the new principal dentist who have a special interest in this. And you can add the value, add an education piece or something along that line to attract that. So what here we are talking, Albert, is more revenues will stay in the practice. So instead of referring out to the experts or to the specialist, it is more like, you will take care of the basic, whether that be ortho case, whether that may be surgical case, or whether that may be any cosmetic cases.
Yeah, well look, Praveen, I was also talking about some other considerations when they buy a practice, and that was to look at why is it being sold, the staff, is there a good culture, a staff or key staff likely to leave, the fact that you really need a long lease. Make sure you get your structure correct. Don't skimp on the due diligence. Make sure you get everything checked out. And then don't forget about the handover. It's not just the day that you take the keys to the front door. You've got to make sure that you've got all the bits in place. And one of the areas that often is complicated is the transfer of the IP, because you've got a website address that's there. It could be good, it could be old, it might need a change, it might need something else. And often that is one of the failings, that we're not doing it until, after we'll worry about it after handover. But you don't want patients to be, missing out. You want to be as prepared as possible. There's some issues there that you can help with.
Oh, absolutely, Albert. I mean, that's one of the things my team gets a lot of challenges, especially initial days when they buy the practice and then they have no idea who the IT provider. I mean, they may know IT provider, but no idea about where the website is sitting, which server, who still owns the domain name. No idea. I mean, it will go. One of the practice we have seen up to 3 years. They change the marketing company, and after 3 years they come and see us. They have no idea. Still, all the verification code, all the password was going to the previous owner, and he's been absolutely retired. So he's, and we have to wait for weeks and weeks and weeks because he's on holidays. So these kinds of things happen. So for us is, really having that handover, whether that may be a website, whether that may be a Google listing, which is super important, because if we can't manage the Google listing, that's also a problem, because sometime it's a public holiday, we have to change the Google listing, the phone number change, new photos, all those sort of things are super important.
Yeah.
Plus,
sorry to interrupt, but really important, because looking at it beforehand is essential, because once the owner has got their money, okay, they're going to help, but they're not going to pull out all stops and try and dig up details and everything else. So it's really something that you need to be across before that handover date,
Yes.
where they're incentivised to make sure that, yes, we've got everything in order to get a smooth handover.
Yeah, so that's super important. And once the handover is placed, then it's also important to get that who the competitors are around. Doing the competitive research is critical. Otherwise, yes, you are on a growth phase or growth opportunities, but we got to also check who are the competitors. What are they doing on new patients? What are where are you sitting in terms of the new patients wise, in terms of growth wise, and where you want to be. So really having that clear on your current state and your desired state is a key, Albert.
Yeah, no, that's good. I think that gives everybody just a bit more information of all the different bits that you really need to look at, and don't forget, where you're dealing with Tadar Services, we have a handover checklist. So it's a good prompt for all the things, and there's probably still things that I keep adding to the list as I go through, to make sure that you've got things covered and you're as prepared as possible for that handover date and to take over your new practice.
Thank you, Albert. I hope you like the videos. If you want more about, all the details are just below. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.